What is going on, guys, and welcome back to Touchdowns to Home Runs. My name is Bernie. Thank you for joining us today on the Touchdowns to Home Runs show. Hope that your day is going absolutely fantastic. We're within just under 2 minutes now from getting a final score in this week's Big 10 matchup between the number 2 Michigan Wolverines and their rivals, the Michigan State Spartans. The Wolverines are currently up by a score of 67-44. And what a rivalry win that this is on senior night. And first of all, before we say anything else, huge congratulations to all of our seniors on being able to finish out the year. Just absolutely fantastic, at least in the regular season in their final game at Chrysler. And particularly, you look at Isaiah Livers, you look at just a whole bunch of guys who have done so much for the Wolverines this year and over the course of the past several years. And again, just a huge congratulations. Also, with this win, Michigan locks up the Big 10 Conference regular season title with this win. A little unfortunate we didn't get it done against Illinois, but maybe, some of the way that the basketball gods wanted it to happen on senior night. But you look at the way that the Big 10 has been so competitive this year with a bunch of teams who are going to be not just playing for the March Madness and National Championship title, but are going to be legit contenders. You look at Illinois, you look at Iowa, you look at Ohio State, and Michigan is the top of that group. And again, huge accomplishment, but job not done yet. In terms of the game that we watched today, it was a big bounce back from the Illinois game where we did not play fantastic at all. Rightfully so. The players, Juwan Howard, the rest of the coaching staff were pretty disappointed. And again, Michigan played awful that game. Completely different story today. Michigan started off a little bit slow, but towards the end of that first half and really over the course of the entire second half, Michigan dominated this basketball game. They were fantastic defensively in the second half, really good offensively all game, I thought, particularly again at the later part of that first half. But I think this is a really nice win in order to bounce back after that big loss. We'll flip over to the box score, starting with the Michigan Wolverines. And what I really saw from the Michigan Wolverines today, again, was great on both sides of the basketball for essentially 35 minutes, I'll say. I thought Michigan shot the basketball really well. I thought they were really good at being able to drive, get to the free throw line, really high percentage looks. They weren't tremendous from three. They've been a little bit shaky over the course of the past few games. They figured it out a bit later, but it was really all from Franz Wagner. He made 4 of 7 other three-pointers today. But again, I thought they really locked down defensively. I thought they did a great job of getting Aaron Henry, Michigan State's star, into some foul trouble. I thought they gave him problems all day long, and Michigan ends up getting the job done. Franz Wagner led the way with 19 points. Again, he led the way, 4 of 6 from 3. He shot 50% from the field, got to the line a pair of times, did a good job rebounding, active on the defensive side of the floor. We had Hunter Dickinson, who I thought, had a really tough matchup a couple of days ago against Kofi Coburn, but he really bounced back today. I think Michigan State in general has a bit of trouble defending big men and really talented big men like Luka Garza, Hunter Dickinson. But Hunter Dickinson shot 6 for 8, 10 rebounds, did exactly what you want him to do with 14 points. The only thing, 6 turnovers. I thought he was a little careless at times, a little too aggressive. But you don't want to take that away from him because that's a big point of his game. And I was speaking to that sort of in the post-game last time, that he's always battling for those extra angles, and I guess the turnovers at some point have to come. Isaiah Livers, Eli Brooks, Mike Smith, 9 points apiece. Again, great end for these seniors here. They all shot the basketball pretty decently, weren't fantastic from 3, but especially what I want to focus on Eli Brooks. I thought especially in the first half, which is where he got all of his 9 points. Sort of where we see Eli Brooks in the past get majority of his points from the three-point line. What I was speaking to in my last video is how, good of a ball handler, how crafty, how good Eli Brooks can be when he decides to drive to the basket, and that's what he did in the first half. Mike Smith did really good facilitating the basketball. And again, Eli Brooks, Isaiah Livers today did a much better job rebounding. 4 of the 5 Michigan starters had 5 or more rebounds. And I think this was just a really clean, now 19-point win for the Wolverines. Flipping over to the bench, Brandon Johns Jr. had 6 points, all coming in the first half. Overall, the bench didn't play that much of a part today. It was mostly the starters. And again, all played fantastic. Let's flip over to the Michigan State Spartans. What I saw from the Spartans was a pretty good start. but at the back end of the first half and second half, they really lost it. And, Michigan State is our rivals, so as a Michigan fan myself, I don't really like to speak highly of the Michigan State Spartans, the Ohio State Buckeyes, but I really do hope that the Spartans do end up making the March Madness. You look at the talent that these guys have on the roster, they were ranked inside the top 5 in the AP polls for a reason. With Aaron Henry, Rocket Watts, Joshua Langford, this is a talented team. They just haven't gotten it to click consistently. Coming into this game, they were 4-1, I think, in their last 5, playing some good basketball. But the issue is that they weren't really good at the first half of the season. And unfortunately, playing now home and home against one of the top teams in the country, you definitely have to be able to play 40 minutes of quality basketball or at least, 30 minutes of quality basketball in order to beat these Michigan Wolverines. And it's going to be a huge game for them on Sunday. We'll talk about that near the end of the video. Aaron Henry led the way, their dominant forward, 14 points, 5 rebounds. But Michigan held him to 6 of 15 from the field. I thought Michigan did a great job of making him turn the ball over. They gave him some trouble. And this is a really talented player who didn't really look as good as he has at some parts of the season this year. Now, he was active on the defensive side of the floor with a steal, a block. He did have some good plays tonight. But he is Michigan State's best player. And if Michigan State is going to make a legit push in the Big 10 conference tournament or eventually the March Madness, they are going to need him to step up. Rocket Watts shot 3 of 8. He had 6 points. Didn't record a rebound or an assist. Again, Michigan's number 2 player probably. They need these guys to step up. Joshua Langford, 2 of 10 from the field. Another guy that Michigan needs to step up, but these guys have not been doing it for the majority of the season. Yes, they've been playing really good lately, but they need these 3 guys at least to step up. And, back to Rocket Watts, this is a guy who was fantastic at the beginning of the season. But this is a guy who hasn't gotten into double-digit scoring over the course of Michigan State's past 14 games. That's going to be unacceptable if Michigan State wants to do anything in the postseason. They got some production off the bench. They did. But it was really their starting lineup who did not shoot the ball well at all. Michigan State as a team did not shoot the ball well at all at only 36% from the field. I don't even think they made a three-pointer today. Yeah, 0 for 9 from 3. And obviously you're not going to win a basketball game like that. I mean, sometimes, you can blame it on the refs, and the refs in this game were not good at all. But sometimes in this game, stats don't really tell the part. In this game, Michigan State's shooting numbers, you are not winning with those numbers, and the stats do tell the part. Let's flip over to the team stats before we end this video. Again, Michigan State only shot 36% from the field. Michigan shot 50%. Michigan State was 0 for 9 from 3. Obviously 0%. Michigan State shot about 44%. Michigan shot about 44%. They were about equal in free throws, but Michigan out-rebounded. And Michigan, I think, played the overall cleaner game. They did. Michigan State was more active in terms of getting turnovers and on the defensive side of the ball. But at the end of the day, Michigan State has to get those shooting numbers up. Quickly, next game between these two teams is the last game in the Big 10 for both of these teams, and it's a huge one for Michigan State, who really desperately needs a win in the second game of the back-to-back. They'll be going to play in Michigan State now, so a little bit more of a favorable matchup for them, but they'll need to shoot a lot better. And I expect Michigan, who's still fighting for that number 1 seed, who's still, is going to be playing their last game on Saturday until I think the next Thursday. So Michigan is probably still going to be playing somewhat, as hard as they possibly can. So I think it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a good one to watch. And we'll see if Michigan State can figure it out. But anyways, guys, if you did make it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. I want to hear your thoughts on this game and Michigan's season and their senior night. Let me know all of that down in the comment section below. Man, it does feel good to clinch this Big 10 regular season title in a rivalry match. What a day this is for Wolverines fans. I want to hear all your thoughts down in the comment section below. Again, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to Touchdowns to Home Runs for more content just like this. We've been posting a lot lately about college basketball leading up to the March Madness, so if you're somebody who fills out a bracket, which I'm assuming you are, make sure to stay up to date on all the latest news on Touchdowns to Home Runs. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.